Oh, shoot. Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't supposed to see that. I was about to smoke that Commander's pack. Anyway, didn't know I started recording. I wanted to talk about the game yesterday in which the Philadelphia Eagles just absolutely destroyed the Washington Commanders 55-23. That's right. 55-23. Let's talk about the game, what we saw. The Commanders came out and had like a 17 play drive where they kicked the field goal. What did I talk about in the video leading up to this game? That they had such a great percentage converting on fourth down, and they started off 2 for 2 on the first drive. But for some reason, they got all the way down to like the 20-something yard line, and they faced a 4th and 2, and I thought Dan Quinn was going to go for it again, and he decided to be a coward and kick it, and I was happy, and it was 3-0. Eagles get the ball back. Everyone's been waiting. What are they going to do? Is the passing game finally going to get it together? They did. But first, the first play of the game from scrimmage. It looked like Jalen checked into the play, or he checked into a different play, and Saquon said, no, keep the original play. It was a crackback toss. Saquon took it to the house. The whole stadium went nuts. It was an amazing feeling. They score there at 7-3. The Eagles eventually go up 14-3 in a pivotal play in the game. And I believe the game pretty much would have been over had they not converted this. That fake punt, that was a ballsy move by Dan Quinn. You can say he was a coward on that first drive. He was not a coward there. Well, you actually could make the argument he was a coward. He should have just gone for it with the offense on the field, but I digress. Anyway, a fake punt backed up in his own territory. If they drop that, the Eagles get the ball at their own 35. It's 21-3. And at that point, the game's over. But instead, they go back and forth. The Eagles forced 3 turnovers. Great job. I don't know who's teaching it on the defense to kind of master that peanut punch that they do, named after Charles Tillman. Punching the ball out on fumbles, on kickoff returns, on runs. They do a great job. So that's great. Quinyon Mitchell got an interception at the end of the game. 0 interceptions in his rookie year in the regular season, 2 in the postseason. How about that? Hopefully he saves some 2 weeks from now for New Orleans. But the defense, played relatively well. You could tell their game plan was to kind of limit the deep plays. Jaden Daniels is very good at just dinking and dunking the ball downfield. I got to give credit to Jaden Daniels, man. That guy is good. I mean, he made Zach Ertz look like prime, Travis Kelce. I mean, my God. Zach Ertz had what, 11 catches for 111 yards or something like that? That might have been the best statistical game of his life. I mean that was crazy. So shout out to Zach Ertz, I guess, and Jaden Daniels, obviously. Back to the fake punt. So they convert there. It's back and forth, but every time the Commanders scored, the Eagles just answered back, and it's because of their offense. I was so nervous about this game, not because the Commanders are anywhere on the level of the Eagles, but is Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni going to get it out of their own damn way and just run an offense? These past 2 weeks, and for most of the regular season, it's been so simplistic. But they finally just, Jalen after the game said, Nick Sirianni took the straitjacket off him, implying that he kind of let him loose. And I agree. Stop coaching him like he's some neutered dog. It's okay to let him be himself. He doesn't turn the ball over. Trust him. Look at all the things they did. They did the toss to Saquon Barkley. They actually ran screens that worked. They did some jet sweeps with Devontae and even Dallas Goedert. They threw deep to AJ on the 4th and 5. If it wasn't for the few times that they failed to pick up the blitz, and they're going to have to get that worked out, because 2 weeks from now, Spagnuolo's going to blitz, but we'll talk about that later. It would have been a near flawless game plan. Jalen, how I feel about Jalen running side to side on those zone reads, but he did a good job. He ran for the 1 touchdown. The tush push got stopped a few times, and then they did that whole sequence that I've never even seen before where the refs almost rewarded the Eagles. I don't even know what happened. Frankie Louvu's a clown. Anyway, he's gone home. But it was a great game, a great atmosphere. That's the way the offense is going to have to play. I can't emphasize this enough. You have to trust your quarterback. Jalen, one of his biggest strengths is his deep ball. Let him throw the ball down the field. I even thought there was a play where he had, I don't think it was a sack, but I believe it was a throwaway. He had A.J. Brown one-on-one down the sideline again after I think it was after the 4th and 5 conversion to him. He should have thrown it to him again. He just held it. And instead it was a broken play. I wanted to throw it to him more. I'm not saying, throw the ball into double coverage like your 2007 Brady throwing to Randy Moss, but if you have one-on-one coverage, I mean, just throw it to A.J. Brown and trust your guys. I love the way Dallas Goedert's been getting involved the past few weeks. I believe Dallas Goedert's becoming underrated by this fan base and the national media, honestly. I know he gets injured a lot. He's not really reliable, but this guy, he rarely drops a pass. He breaks tackles. He's a good blocker. I mean, he's a great tight end. He's a great player. Now, will the Eagles re-sign him? That's a conversation for another day. But it was a great game. The atmosphere was great. The Eagles just, I mean, let's face it, the Commanders had no chance in this game. I mean, it was going to take the Eagles shooting themselves in the foot, which they have been prone to do, for the Commanders to have a chance. I mean, really. I mean, every position on the field, the Eagles were better, except for quarterback. And at that point, it literally doesn't matter. I mean, the Eagles just dominated them in the trenches. And that's where Harry Roseman is so great. He recognizes that that's where you win football games. I mean, the offensive line just dominated them. The defensive line can't say enough. I mean, even Jordan Davis was getting sacks. I mean, how about like Nolan Smith stepping up in the absence of Nakobe Dean? It was just a great game all around. So now we look ahead to New Orleans. I got to say, I was rooting for the Bills. I think both teams are pretty equal, but obviously the Patrick Mahomes factor. I'd rather face Josh Allen than Patrick Mahomes. They're both great. It's tough to get a read on this Super Bowl rematch. Both teams are different. The Eagles' defense, specifically in the secondary, is better than the first time around. The Chiefs are different than the first time around. We'll preview the game. I just wanted to get on and recap the game. I'm going to enjoy this next week. The Eagles, this next week, it's not really a rest week. This is when you have your installs, your practice days. This is when you prepare, when you put your game plan in. The next week, when you travel to New Orleans, that's when you do all the media garbage leading up to the game. As Alshon Jeffrey said in 2017, it's a total waste of time, but that's a topic for another day. Anyway, the Eagles beat the Commanders in the Battle of the Hard Rock Cafe. And they advance to the Super Bowl to face the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. We will preview that game. I'll have more content coming out during the week and during next week. But for now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell at the bottom. It'll notify you when I make a new video. Peace.